Hello, Flosstube. It's Amber Rogue Mama Stitcher. I'm back for the second time this week to um, talk about Queen City Stitch Retreat. And I just got off work, so yeah, it was a 7 a.m. shift, and now it's a little bit past 5, and it is Wednesday, October 11th, 2023, and I guess this could be Flosstube 45. I kind of was put down some notes to do Flosstube 45 because I missed talking about a lot of Queen City Stitch Retreat in my last one, just because there was so much to talk about. I feel like I kind of just didn't get to all of it, and I actually haven't watched my Flosstube, so hopefully I don't repeat anything. But I'm probably bound to. So anyways, I'm wearing my Queen City Stitch Retreat hoodie, which I love. It was so brilliant to sell this around this time of year because it is very rainy in my side of the country right now. So I'm in Utah, next to Wyoming, Colorado. Yeah, so I was outside today at work and, just going in and out, and definitely needed my hoodie. So here it is. Queen City Stitch Retreat, Charlotte, North Carolina. So cool. I love it. It's so comfortable. So if you went and you didn't get a hoodie or you didn't get a sweatshirt, you should, if you were considering it. So I'm going to try to, let's see, start at the beginning, I guess. However, I failed to mention that I met Catherine the Needleberry Stitcher at Queen City Stitch Retreat, and it was really, really wonderful to meet her and get a feel for, who she is, how she is as a person, and just a wonderful soul. So sweet, so sincere. Yeah, so she was very busy, and part of organizing and getting that whole retreat, this fabulous retreat, put together. So Catherine, I adore you, and it was awesome to meet you if you're watching. And thank you for everything that you did. Thank you for publishing the Q&A with Nora. I happened to miss that, so the fact that I was actually able to hear that was just wonderful. Maggie, the questions that you asked Nora Corbett about basically like connecting, kind of like helping us to connect with her as an artist, like from an artist's perspective, kind of like, I feel like that really, at least for me, like that really helped me kind of like get an idea of like why there's so much creativity and like variety and meaning in her work. I think it's, I'm not someone who like functions on that plane very much, on that creative plane. So it's like kind of, it was a little bit surreal hearing her describe, some of her process. And it actually made sense from what I know of the art world, like kind of what, how she described her process, especially things like art is never really final, you just get tired of it, that kind of thing. Like just, and sort of why artists, a lot of them never seem super satisfied with their pieces, with their artwork. And I think that's very interesting to me. Anyways, yeah, so yeah, thank you, Maggie, also Kitschy Whips, and Catherine is the Needleberry Stitcher, if I didn't already say, but Maggie for, being so in touch with what Nora's core clientele and audience would have wanted to know. It was really beautiful. I just really felt like I really got to know some pretty important things about Nora Corbett. So, and the people that, who organized it, like, it was really great to see how, in touch they were with other stitchers and what they'd want to know. So, Fiber Arts Amy and, and Allie Z. Allie Z is crafty, Kitchen Whips. And yeah, so anyway, so that was really special to meet all of them. And of course, there was not enough time. And Maggie and Allie, Amy, Catherine, like, yes, we should all hang out. Let's do this again. And this time, let's make sure we have like at least a day or two to where we can have some time together. Because like I just felt like you guys were so busy, and like it was my first retreat, so I was definitely not being super social with anybody else except for the stitchers that I already knew mostly, and maybe like Denise, like Flosstube I was already pretty familiar with. So, and Memphis, Sarah E, like she's just like an amazing like adept social butterfly, so she really helped everybody come out of their shell, and there was no ice to break at all, really. I think a lot of reason was because of Sarah, but so anyway, and really quick, I just want to show you guys, like if you're just here for stitching, I did want to show you that I started my retreat piece, my Nora Queen retreat piece. I think it's called Queen Retreat. I put it in my Sheba Designs bag. So Bernadette got me the Amanda 40 count fabric from Grace Notes Fabric, and it's like my new obsession. I think Jordan's and possibly Bernadette's new obsession is mini mirrors. So there's the start of my Retreat Queen. Look at that, 40 count 1/1, 40 count linen. Isn't that so beautiful? I love it. All these pieces that were done on mini by a couple different stitchers. Allison, and I can't remember her last name, was one of them. She was an amazing, like, just mini stitcher. She was like doing 25 count over 1, I believe. And Katie, I know her name. I think she was at Jordan's table, and her last name I think starts with a D, maybe. But she also did these beautiful minis. I'm almost positive. So I apologize if I'm remembering incorrectly, but I'm pretty sure I'm right, because I remember seeing both of their their pieces and just being like I gotta try this. It's so beautiful, mini. Like, who knew? I love them huge too, like large Marge, and like the pieces that I do on 28 count, and stitch 3/2. Like, I love the huge ones too. Of course, they deserve to be huge, but then there's like the alphabet fairy pieces in mini were just beautiful, dynamite, And so yeah, so I love that Bernadette got me that 40 count linen, because for the Retreat Queen, because she knew I was gonna do that for sure. As a mini. So super excited. So hopefully, that'll be my new, focus piece that I'll really go to town on, when I'm not working. So anyways, super excited about that. I know I saw that a bunch. Sorry. Okay, and then let's see. So I'm gonna just try to start at the beginning here. So so first, my husband, on the first day, let's see, on Wednesday the 4th, we got up early. We dropped our youngest off at school. I think his aunt picked him up from school, or Peter, my husband, made it back in time to pick him up from school. But anyway, so we left about 8 a.m. After that, and just drove like 2.5, 3 hours to Salt Lake, and I believe we had a lunch. Made sure that we had some lunch before I got on the plane. Just forgot about the water thing. Has been probably, I think it's been 15 to 20 years since I've flown. I don't even remember the last time I flew and when, what for. Like, it's been so long. So yeah, like my flight was about a 4-hour flight. I had to go to security twice though, through security twice. Got my shoe. My shoe was lost in the little roller belt thingies in the x-ray machine thing. The second time I had to go through, I was just, thoughtless, I guess, and left, a little bit of water in my water bottle. And then I had like a little orange juice that we had for lunch. And so I guzzled the orange juice and I poured out the water, and, someone found my shoe, TSA found my shoe, like the flight was nice. Like, I basically passed out the first hour and a half, I believe, in my flight, and then I woke up and had some more water and stitched a bunch on Midnight Watch, and which I showed on my last Flosstube about the Queen City Retreat, and that was really quite nice. In the last few minutes I just didn't stitch at all, and like the last 30 minutes or so, which is totally fine. So got off the plane, went to use Lyft for the first time ever, and it was it was easy. It was fine. Nowadays, there's actually pillars, for basically where the pickup from the airport used to have probably taxi info normally, and just your family or friends just come pick you up. It just had Uber, Lyft, everywhere on all these pillars, and it was crazy and strange. So the Lyft, I got a deal on my Lyft, my first 3 Lyft rides, $10 off, which was really cool because I was astounded at how expensive they were, because the hotel was I think it was supposed to be 20-minute drive or something, but if you have traffic it's longer, but we didn't really have traffic the night I got in, Wednesday night. So yeah, my Uber driver or Lyft driver, he, one of my brothers is a Lyft driver, so I'm already oh, cause he's my younger brother, he's almost 10 years younger than I am, so I kind of adore him, I guess. So I was curious about the job, I guess, but anyways, my first Lyft driver didn't almost say one syllable to me. Seemed like a real sweet dude. His car was nice, smelled good, so for a first time, passenger of a Lyft, I was pleasantly surprised at the service. He helped me with my bags, in and out of the trunk, and, got me to the hotel. Had really nice music on. There was it was kind of poppy romantic music. It was weird. And then he's a young man. He seemed like he was maybe in his 20s, maybe early 30s, if anything. And then there was in the middle of all that sweet romantic music was a song with a bunch of F words in it, or club music or something. It was kind of funny. Anyway, so he dropped me off at the hotel. Then I just threw my bags in there. I think I told you this part. Connected with Bernadette. We got a hold of each other real quick. Then we went to try to get Bojangles. I think, it just, I think I heard it sound, I was good or something, or maybe I heard it from Bernadette. I wasn't sure. I was like, yeah, let's go get Bojangles. So ended up that it was already locked at 9:14 at night, and that was a little surprising. I was looking forward to some kind of classic type of later dinner, biscuits and gravy was more what I was kind of picturing. And so we were kind of trying to get in, and some guy whipped around out of the drive-thru and was like, they don't have anything. They don't have, their machines aren't working. They can't even take your order. The guy was kind of angry, it seemed like, but he's yelling at us, trying to save us his trouble that he had with them. So we were kind of like, oh, okay, thank you. So we went to the restaurant at the hotel, which, by the way, the hotel was like one of the nicest hotels I've ever experienced. Like super, super nice. Just all the accommodations, like just, yeah, like Maggie and whoever else that chose that hotel. And I mean, it was very affordable too for a hotel, Um, yeah, they did a great job. Like great taste, loved it. Didn't have a weird smell. Like the employees are super professional and nice, like friendly, and helpful. Um, so yeah, and I had a great sleep, and my floor was really quiet. There wasn't a lot of noise or anything. Sorry, but so let's see. So we uh decided we would just eat at the bistro at the hotel. They said the only thing they had was burgers. So both Bernadette and I had a burger and felt like I chowed mine down like way fast. And I think before that, like before we actually ordered, was when we saw Maggie for the first time. And of course, like I was like, ah, when I saw Maggie, like, it's Maggie, and give her a big old hug. And Bernadette's right, like she and Maggie are both tiny people. And I was actually surprised too. Like I didn't expect, like I'd be like looking down at this little petite cute lady. I thought Maggie was at least my height, And Sarah E said she's like got a big personality and in a little body, and that's so true. so so yeah. So yeah, we ate the burgers. It was good. Just kind of, I think Bernadette and I probably just chatted a while. I don't really remember like if we even stitched that night, but I was tired, so I stopped talking about sleep. But so yeah, so like I like put on my favorite show and just like passed out, like and the next morning, what did we do? Oh, that's right. So Bernadette planned like a whole historical tour of Charlotte, and I was so excited about that. So she planned that because the retreat didn't open doors until 3 p.m. So we had the whole morning to do that. Unfortunately, Jordan could not attend, or Rocio, because both of them, were flying out of Dallas, and they had canceled those flights from, the day before. And so they could only get flights that went out like later. Oh, shameful. I'm so sorry. Like I got up early. So yeah, so we went on this historical tour of Charlotte, and like I appreciated knowing knowing about the Revolutionary War soldiers, the grave site that had like 15,000 people buried there in a very small square foot type of setup, and by law no one's allowed to bury anybody there anymore. There's not a lot of headstones there. I'm guessing there's really not. I mean, if it's from the Revolutionary War, that is, those bodies are gone. From what I understand of places that have moist climates, like they don't, the bodies decompose pretty thoroughly. So yeah, but it's awesome. Anyways, it's like sacred ground basically, and I actually like kind of got like the, like I kind of just like felt it through my bones, like felt it through in my, in my soul, like what that was like, that hallowed ground when we were driving by that in our little golf cart, just being next to it, feeling that energy, knowing that was amazing. So yeah, Janet Jabber, Sarah, she recruited Janet Jabber to come with us on the tour. So Sarah, Janet, and Bernadette and myself. So I sat in the back of the golf cart with Janet, and we talked the whole time, and it was very fun, and it was wonderful getting to know Janet and looking at all these amazing things together about this town. Like both of us had, I think Janet said she'd never been there either. So, and just we were kind of talking about like, wow, like every Stitch retreat, maybe we should start out like this, kind of like knowing what town we're in. So, because I mean, I don't like to just kind of feel like I'm dropping in somewhere and like, really have no idea. I mean, I guess unless I have no interest in the place, but I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I feel like hope you're not yawning too because of this. But yeah, like yeah, I thought it was such a great idea, and I guess the idea was like a different group's idea, and they were doing it at the end of the week. But I like the idea that kind of kicking off the whole week like that, because I would feel like a little more oriented about where I was staying. But also through my family history research, I had found, like a year or so ago, I had found a third great grandpa that is from that basically he was always like a mystery. I don't think I ever told anybody on Flosstube about this, but basically one of my third great grandpas from my dad's side, from North Carolina, he was like always a mystery to his own granddaughter, who my mom was trying to find out family history information so she could trace my dad's line. This is a long time ago, like probably 70s or something, 60s, 70s, when my great grandma was still alive. So her grandpa would be, I believe, like my third great grandpa. So anyway, so my mom was like, well, where is he from? And, who is his wife? That kind of thing. So she was always really just like would never answer these questions. And so one time she decided she would answer the questions. Well, so it turns out that he had two different, so this is in the late, kind of mid to late 1800s. So he had raised both of his families in Missouri but in two different counties. And apparently what my mom was told was that he had a previous family before he got with my grandma and had my second great grandpa, and which was their first child. So the story was a little confusing. So my the grandma that I came from, she was only like 16 or 17 and he was like in his 30s. So he had already started a family, and I don't even know how many kids he had yet, maybe like 3 kids already with the first wife that he had, but 2 different counties. And I think that was about the time that this Missourian Railroad was built, because the Transcontinental Railroad, didn't get built in just a year. It took a little while. So from what I understand, I'm not a historian, so don't come at me if I'm totally wrong. But okay, if I'm getting some things wrong, but yeah. So like in Missouri, it seemed like about the right time when the railroad was being built there, that he was able to travel quicker between the families. I'm pretty sure both women didn't know about this, but the other woman, the first woman, was his age, his actual wife, and then my grandma was only like 17 or something like that, maybe 16. So anyway, so he was always this mystery to our family. Well, I had found, when I was looking at Ancestry.com, I was finding things about, I basically found out who his parents were, because no one ever knew that. And they were both from North Carolina, and they both got married, and had him, and wasn't on the records he hasn't been mentioned in records before, but he was literally like, without parentage before. But of all the people that I had found at that time, and when he kind of dropped out of the sky, which is what my great grandma had said about him, he like dropped out of the sky, like because they didn't know anything about him before that. So anyways, there's more to it. Yeah, it had to kind of do with them joining joining a religion at a very controversial time for that religion, and then I think maybe he ran away or something. And so anyway, so going to North Carolina was a really cool experience, and for me because of that also, and also learning about the history of it, because I mean, I am connected to that area, but know virtually nothing about it. So it was just like, I kind of felt like I got a little bit of a, a little taste for it. So, anyways, if you're still listening to me, I'm going to be shocked. But so then after that, we went to, I believe we just went to lunch. We went to Mertz, the place that the famous like chef guy, can't remember how to say his last name, starts with an F. He has the blonde spiky hair, apparently loves it, and a lot of famous people go there and stuff. I got to have like grits and collard greens, salmon cakes. That was good. Cornbread, super good. I ate the whole loaf before I even got my meal. Yeah, it was that good. Very good cornbread. So, yeah, and I think everybody enjoyed their meal. It was pretty filling. Let's see, waitress thought it was hilarious that I asked for a doggy bag. Like, I wasn't even thinking, I just said it, I was like, oh, how would you say it? She's like, oh, little kids say that. She's like, to-go box? I'm like, okay, cool, like, it was pretty funny. Anyway, then, yeah, we went back and got our stitchy table. Bernadette had to take care of some things for work, so I saved her and Jordan a spot. Sarah grabbed Denise Black Ribbon Studio, and I think maybe Denise grabbed Deb Rucker from Heritage Stitches, and Cross by Floss Lisa joined us, and that was awesome. Janet Jabber was very near us, table-wise. And yeah, I think we just kind of got out our stitching and started chatting. Jordan finally came in about 6-ish, I think. Yeah, so I think we just kind of, trying to remember, like, I think I stitched a little bit on Midnight Watch to begin with, and then Shakespeare's Fairies, and then I can't remember if I started on the Halloween Fairy the first day or if I just started it the next day. Anyway, now I'm trying to remember like what I did on Thursday. Yeah. So goodness, what did we do on Thursday? Just stitching and giveaways. Oh, and Jordan and Bernadette and we went and got Bojangles, and it was really, really good. They're out of, I think the gravy wasn't great for the biscuits and gravy. I think they were out of eggs, so that was fine. But I mean, it tasted good. I think I just expected it to look a little creamier. It was kind of like clearish looking. It was kind of weird. But yeah, chicken tenders. I never tasted better chicken tenders in my life. I'm not like a huge fan of chicken tenders. Although I do love chicken, it's just like the breaded part of it, like it's just normally so thick and crunchy, like kind of ruins it for me. But these were seasoned very well, and I mean not like super spicy or anything, but they just tasted good. The flavor was good, but they were also softer on the outside, so like I didn't feel like I was crunching on something like super hard and crispy. They're just the right crisp. So the biscuits were really good. Yeah, I'm trying to remember like what else. Yeah, we just had a good time, like just chatting at Bojangles, and yeah, like the first night apparently, Lisa, Cross by Floss, and Sarah were actually Sarah E. They were actually in there when we were trying to get in, and they told us later, like, we didn't even hear you. Which is fine, I wouldn't expect them to be like, hey, our friends are out there. But it was funny. Like, so yeah, so we had, had dinner. I don't know, just a lot of chatting and, hugging and trying to get used to seeing each other, I guess, like, because I was not used to seeing Bernadette in person until the second day, and Jordan, I was like wanted to just like rub her arm. I'm like a real weirdo about like I don't want to like invade people's space, but I'm like very kinesthetic, very touchy feely, so like trying to stay away from overwhelming people. But anyway, so she's like, that's all right, lots of hugs. So definitely gave a couple hugs, and she said I was tiny along with Bernadette. So I was kind of like, oh, like I've never been called tiny before, I don't think, but or maybe I have, but I just disregard it, like I'm not tiny, I can't be tiny. Anyways, let's see. Yeah, so then let's see, the next morning, okay, so like my back, like it hurt like the next morning, just because like being on the airplanes was like American Airlines, like the seats are like small, and then yeah, like I just to sit down that long is really kind of hard on my back, and especially if it's not on a couch or something really soft, like my back starts to suffer. And yeah, so like a 4 hour flight and then the 3 hour drive before that, it was just a lot of sitting the first, like to kick it all off on Wednesday. So yeah, so by Friday, I believe that was Friday morning, that no, yeah, by Thursday morning my back was like not happy with me. So I got up and Bernadette's like, good morning, and like about 8:30, and I said good morning, and like my back was just hurting, and so I did yoga, and then like a kind of like an abbreviated version of yoga, because I didn't have my mat and I didn't have my video that I just brainlessly follow along to, and my back felt better, and I lay down in bed and I passed back out. And so I missed breakfast with the girls, with Jordan and Bernadette, so Tattooed Stitcher and Burn Stitches. But yeah, I missed out on bagels that they got at an exclusive bagel place, I guess, and that was sort of a bummer, and that's okay. But then they said, something about like, we came back, like, sorry we didn't get you anything, and or something, and then we just wanted to make sure we got back in time for Nora. So Nora Corbett was like signing autographs, signing our patterns, signing whatever, and so I was like, oh my gosh, and so like I started getting ready, because I just like just traveling and stuff, like it just kind of knocked my concentration sideways a little bit, and also just meeting all the new people. And so I got really ready really fast, and went downstairs, and I just went right in line to see Nora, and a couple of the girls from the table were kind of like, not like in a rude way, but just kind of like, what's she doing here, and then I think I was messaging with maybe Sarah or something, and she's like, yeah, they're calling us by table. And I was like, oh, like I am not supposed to be here. And so then I just left when this sweet lady came up and said that she was waiting in line, I think, for fabric, and missed the call for her table. So I said, why don't you just keep get your spot, this is your spot, I've been holding it for you, that kind of thing. So yeah, so I went and just spent more time with my table, and till we could until we got our turn. And let's see, so then I was kind of joking, like I should ask Nora to like sign my arm and be like, I want to get it tattooed in there on my arm. But then I kind of I forgot about that when I finally got to approach her. So let's see, then, like obviously just meeting Nora was great, just a gracious, sweet soul. And let's see. And then I think I can't remember like every meal I ate, but I believe it was on Thursday that we went and got kava. Um, I think some of the girls had eaten this place that was like a chicken sandwich place or something. And each and every lady that had gone there said when they got back, they go, "Oh, I am so full." Like that was such a filling meal. Whatever I had was not that filling. I cannot remember for the life of me. So anyway, so I believe we went to Cava on Thursday. Someone correct me if I'm wrong because I cannot remember what we had on Friday. This is Bojangles again. But so if I'm right, Cava was, but I remember Cava was like literally the best meal that I had when I in Charlotte. I got the spicy avocado pita wrap or something, and someone got mixed up with my order or something, and anyways, like they slopped my sandwich or my meal together, my pita together, like, do you want it spicy? I said, yeah, I'd love it spicy. So everything's already like all around the pita bread and, in the wrapper and everything, and I can't tell what's where, but it's this big pile of yummy food. And, she just put all the spice on it after I said I want it spicy, and that was amazing. And I had to get a fork because it was so sloppy, and it was just delicious. And then I also got a blueberry lavender drink that was amazing, so yummy. And then let's see, I can't remember if that was Thursday or Friday night. I'm so sorry. It's like I'm blanking on one of the dinners, I think. And I got to chat a lot with Lisa Cross by Floss that night, and that was wonderful because she's lived in Washington before. She's lived in Canada before, and so I got to hear about her experiences in those different locations. Because I'm from Washington State, and so yeah, so I got to really kind of have a good, just a good chat with her, and it was really nice to just get to know new people and a new person who's very interesting, a very interesting person. We talked a lot about like 23andMe and things like that. Then the next day, I needed fruit. Like I cannot eat out that much, and I just needed fruit. And Bernadette goes, "Hey, there's like a Whole Foods like really nearby," and it was across in a different parking lot, and it was it wasn't like terribly expensive or anything. It was just like kind of like Whole Foods or whatever, and got like some yogurt, and I got these like chocolate croissants that I used to have when I lived by Whole Foods like 12 years ago. These chocolate croissants are so good. They have like kind of the dark chocolate, it's like hard chocolate on the outside, like kind of seals it, and then like in the inside it's like gooier chocolate. Oh my gosh, so good. You're not supposed to probably get stuff like that. Like when you're at a Whole Foods, you expect just to get like all the super duper healthy stuff. Yeah, I love this. This is the best croissant I've ever had. And anyway, so I had to get a pack of 4, so because I couldn't find them in the bakery, and I was able to share those, and just made me happy to be able to share them because they're freaking good. Anyway, so that was wonderful. And I ate a lot of the grapes that I got. It was just wonderful to have some like just regular food, not just like fried, you know, kind of protein with just as meat, you know, like I need something different. So let's see, I got some like granola bars and things just for like, I had an important appointment on Saturday. So I wanted to make sure that I had the, you know, kind of breakfast without having to like travel anywhere. I could just go directly from my hotel to, you know, this place. Uh, so, right, I got a tattoo. Okay. That's, you know, I already have tattoos. So, I mean, it's like a huge deal that way, but it'd been like over 20 years since I got one. So that was a big deal. But yeah, I just thought, you know, it was my first retreat and it was like a milestone for me to meet other cross stitchers at a retreat setting where it's all about cross stitch. So it just felt right. Like I'd wanted to get a tattoo for a while. It's like, you know, inside of my arm. But yeah, it's not healed yet and it kind of still hurts. So, let's see. It's kind of like, has like that kind of snake skin, like kind of thing going on right now, which is not cute. But anyways, what else? Yeah, so I mean, it was pretty great having that. The food, I mean, and I forgot my phone at Whole Foods. Like I saw a little shimmer in my basket when I was checking out, and I'd grab my wallet and everything and my groceries, and I thought, I wonder if I forgot something. Then I was like, no, I didn't forget anything. So I walked all the way down the hill, and then I was like, oh, I wonder what time it is or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, my phone. So I went right back, and Whole Foods was like, hey, yeah, it's fine, you know, like we've locked it up for you. Here it is, you know. So no, you know, total disaster averted there. What else? So, oh my gosh. I think I'm trying to remember when the whole thing with the Bojangles happened when it was like the hour that we had to wait for our Bojangles meal. Now I'm wondering. Hold, I'll be right back because I'm gonna check the schedule. Okay, so yeah. So then this is still Friday. People were getting chair massages, and I really wanted one, but I have a massage therapist at home, so I don't want her to think I was cheating on her. No, I'm totally kidding. But I just didn't want to like be like, oh, you know, like spending more money on that. I wanted to get fabric and the Sheba Designs bags. So I held off on that. Plus the freaking Lyft, I had no idea how expensive it would be. You know, I mean, like I have like a couple things like on my next retreats, like for sure I'm gonna bring all like any snacks that are non-perishable, I will bring them in my suitcase. You know, basically that's it. I will save myself money. And I won't be getting like a tattoo every single retreat, so that will also save me money. Yeah, so the Mirabilia like trivia, I'm total crap at it. Like I did not get anything or any place. Like I was in like 99th place or 89th place or something, you know. And you know, let's see, and then so the next day I was gone probably till like 3 or something like that. And basically Jordan and Bernadette are like, get down here, we need a picture. Like, so I missed our table picture, unfortunately. You know, I'll be a lot more, you know, next retreat I will definitely be there, you know, for the events more. Like I didn't really like realize when I had to plan the tattoo like in advance, like per that studio was very strict about their scheduling and when they were gonna like, you know, or how they were gonna let the tattoo happen and stuff like that, and how far in advance it needed to be, da da da. So it was not flexible, and I'd already paid money, so like a down payment kind of, or like a deposit, so they knew that I was actually coming. Anyways, so yeah, so we went and took our, you know, this photo booth photo. So this is what we did when I got back. I shoved some of the whole food in my mouth like before I went down because I was super hungry after that. Yeah, so that, and then and that was complimentary of the retreat. And then Bernadette, I had told Jordan and Bernadette at the beginning of the retreat, I was like, oh, there's gonna be trivia games. You guys, one of you guys is gonna win, or both of you guys are gonna win. And then Bernadette totally won that last game that was freaking intense. Like, that one was really intense, the speed game. And because both of them have like memorized the the productions, the releases of the memorabilia designs, like the patterns. It's really impressive, like how much they know, their inventory in their brains. Yeah, but it was a speed game too, so yeah, you had to like come up with that quick. Yeah, so that was amazing. I was so proud that Bernadette won. Yeah, like I knew it. I knew she was, she had all that info up there. And I believe it was Melissa Sheba from Sheba Designs that was, number one most of the time. And then Bernadette pulled ahead just on the last question, I believe. It was amazing. So then, let's see. I think it was almost like every night that I just stitched and chatted after 11 out in the waiting, in like the lounge area or the waiting area. With Bernadette and Jordan and Janet Jabber. And I apologize if I'm not mentioning everybody. Like I said, it was like, overwhelming. Like, I'm a one-on-one person most of the time. Like, I can have fun at a party and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna be like remembering everybody's names and things like that. Like, that was like, I get like it's like too much. So but yeah, so yeah, like that. Gosh dang it, now it's gonna bug me, like, who else was with us? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, we just had a wonderful time with everybody that we were, hanging out with, everybody we were stitching with. It was like a good time. I know that Allie Z, I swear she hung out with us for a little while, and chatted with us. And I know Janet Jabber, I think Lisa Cross by Floss, I think she was there at least once in the, like in the lobby. That's what I'm trying to say, in the lobby. Yeah, so yeah, I think that was about it. And, Sarah giving me that wonderful pattern, and Jordan and Bernadette making sure I won the November Topaz Fairy. Like, I still, like, it does, like Jordan had said the other day, like, it feels like it was a dream. It really does. Like, I'm still not past all of that, like, how that just happened. So yeah, and then, just what else? Okay, so I apologize, I'm not remembering everything, but so basically I like went to bed really late the last night, Saturday night, and I called my husband and I talked for a little while with him, and then by the time I fell asleep, it was probably like 2 a.m. and then I had to wake up at 5 to catch my flight. And yeah, so I was pretty tired. And I remembered everything except I left a nightgown in the bed. I had a nightgown, like, packing or something, and then left it in the bed. So, or I think I like put it over my face at some point when I was sleeping, and like, yeah. Anyway, so I am celebrating that I did not forget more than my nightgown. Like a phone or a charger or something, like, like, what if I had forgotten the thing that Nora signed for me? Like, that would have been horrible. So I could handle a nightgown, that I probably got on clearance some like years ago or something. But yeah, so I had a plain from Charlotte to Denver, because then my connecting flight, like basically my town is so remote. I'm just going to say remote. It's not super small anymore. Smaller than Las Vegas, okay? But it is so remote that we only have like one airline that'll fly to our town, and even that is a tentative thing. My gate got switched when I was in Denver the 3 times. I had to go to 3 different gates to to catch the flight that went to my hometown. So that was an adventure. So yeah, I got home, and I mean the plane was scary. Like this really funny man. I assume he was Hispanic because he was speaking Spanish, but he sat next to me, and it's just like a small aircraft that we're on. And he sat next to me and asked me, like, once he got to our town, like, how does he catch a taxi? So I Googled the taxis in our town for him and gave him the phone number. And smaller airplanes, if you've ever been on like a smaller airplane, like it makes more noise and it jostles around more. At least it feels like it does, like you feel more. And so when the plane was starting to take off, this man did or was it? Yeah, like that. He goes, and he's like, praying, like, he's nervous, and that's sweet and kind of scary also, because I mean it's a little scarier, like, to fly in a smaller plane, at least, I think for a lot of people, because of the, like I said, the jostling seems stronger and all that. And anyway, it seems less secure somehow because it's doing that more. And when the wheels go up, it does more of that, and you can feel them right under you. It's less smooth. Anyway, so yeah, when we landed, because this is my first time I had taken a plane to my town, because I didn't want my husband to have to drive back to Salt Lake. I just wanted him to just drive 2 minutes to go get me. And when I landed, I was like, well, how do we get our bags, And I come out, and the flight crew is like, literally, the plane's open, the cargo hold, I guess is what it would be called. The plane's open, and they're like rolling people's bags that they've checked just directly to them on the runway. So I was like, whoa, that was quick after, being on so many different airlines. Where you have to like go, like walk a mile and go down two stories to go get your bag and baggage claim, and even then you have to wait and watch 100 bags go by sometimes. But I mean, I didn't have like that bad experience or anything this time. But and then I hadn't checked my bag in with them. I had, it was from my Charlotte to Denver flight that my bag was gonna be inside the airport, like a building, little building, that they just like opened this like little garage door thingy, and like there was just like a mini slide, a little short wide slide, and you could just see them right in front of you, the employees, and they just threw all our bags down in a row, and I'm like, oh, there's my bag, like within 2 seconds. I think it had hydraulic fuel on it, or fluid on it rather. It was kind of had like drops of oil all over the front of my suitcase, but I got it fast, so that's something. But I was just grateful to have my stuff, and I scrubbed it off with Dawn and, hot water and stuff. So I think if I just kind of work on it a little bit more, I think most of the oil stains will come out. But yeah, Bernadette landed, and she goes, have you landed yet? And I was still in the plane in, my hometown. I said, actually, yes, I just landed. And, she said, me too, like 5 minutes ago. She says, I'm still on tarmac. And I'm like, me too. It was really weird because she had a flight that was like, flew out like about 2 hours later rather than mine. So that was pretty cool that both of our planes were on the tarmac at the same time, but just different, we had, just in different areas of the US, she's in California and I'm in Utah. But anyways, so what else? But yeah, my husband, my plane had landed like 15 minutes early. We got out 15 minutes early. So my husband was surprised when I said, hey, I'm here, where are you? And he's like, what? I thought you were landing, 1:30 or whatever. And anyways, he'd been cleaning up the house, and, he had recruited Toasty to help him clean. And so I cleaned up the house before I got there. And, I just walked to the end of the, I was just walking along the shoulder of our little paved, road out, out the airport. And I think it's called an airport, but I mean, it's like not a huge one, if that makes sense. Like, so I don't want to, like, when I say that, it's just like a building with a long driveway. So yeah, so I just walked to the end of the road there, and, he came and picked me up, and, it was really great to see my family again. And they were just so happy that I was able to go on the retreat, and just super supportive of me having my own passion and, spending time with friends that I, otherwise don't see. And so yeah, that was pretty great. It was wonderful. Wonderful to be home, and went right back to, I had one day and then I went right back to work after that. I definitely needed that day, and holy moly, like I got really sore after I did like a full routine of yoga and then worked that's the same day. Like the next day I was like, oh, which is today is the next day. And so, but I'm happy to be, really kind of like getting active again, and that's nice. But I would say, like, one of the funnier things, like, also, like, with my trip was the Lyft was very expensive. So, the two things I'd change, not so many needing Lyft, possibly renting a car with a bunch of girls if we need to go somewhere, or if we need to go more than a couple places, whatever retreat, we happen to meet up at, if we're not within our own driving distance and can have our own cars. But, but the Lyft drivers were really, really pretty fun. One of them, I think my second Lyft ride, the guy was like, when I first got in, he's like, well, you smell really good. What is that you're wearing? Is that your lip gloss? And all this stuff. And I was like, I think it's my lip gloss. I think my lip gloss is called Sugar High, like a Victoria's Secret Sugar High. He's like, that's gotta be it. That's what it is. But then luckily he just started talking about other things. So, yeah, it was really funny. Anyway, I told Bernadette that, and she was like, like, that's weird. So, like, I was just kind of like, yeah, I guess it was. Like, I probably would have been super uncomfortable if that had continued. But anyways, yeah, so one of the Lyft drivers told me, like, all about, like, how he's just, like, made bank, like, working in the winter, like, picking up, like, anyone who was, like, stuck in a ditch. And, he just had, like, the right vehicles to help people and stuff. Like, one of the worst winters in Charlotte, I guess, in the last several years. Yeah, and then a different Lyft driver, he was going off about, like, how he doesn't really like the south of North Carolina, like how he just thinks they're all ritzy and snooty and stuff and terrible drivers, and like showed me the different architecture of, like, the kind of rich house, people who build expensive homes, but they don't have, like, very good taste. And that was really funny, like, just kind of pointing out all that stuff, because it was the long drive, that was long drive. I think that was from getting my tattoo, so he just entertained me, like, the whole time with that. And then the last Lyft driver that I had, he said he basically is an empty nester and just did that for his, like, vacation fund that, is like his side hustle, and that he, like, would get up at 3 a.m. like as a normal thing and do Lyft rides. Anyway, Yeah, I'm like probably telling you more about that than I am about conversations with stitchers, but it's like it's kind of hard, like, because with the stitchers, it's like I don't really know how much they would want me to disclose about things that we talked about, and I don't really know how much I disclosed, so like maybe it's just safe not to go too far into detail on those conversations, but yeah, I think I've told you mostly, what who I talked to and like, you know, the great conversations I had. So if you're ever considering it, I would definitely recommend going to Queen City Stitch Retreat. I'm sure other retreats are great too. I'm gonna meet Jordan and Bernadette. The plan is to meet Jordan and Bernadette for a yummy dinner in Salt Lake when they're at Stitch West, and I so do wish that I could go to Stitch West. I just literally have to work, so I can keep my job. um, so let's see. Then I have secured my place at Stitch West in April. I believe that's the one that's going to be in Ogden. So we will stay tuned on any information about that. I would love to go shopping at Shepherd's Bush this Friday or Saturday, and I just don't have the time right now. But oh my gosh, it would be so fun. So, but a few more months and we'll do it. So if you have made it this far, and I only showed you one piece of stitching, thank you so much. And I mean, I could gush about everybody and everything at Queen City Stitch Retreat and probably just make you all nauseous with how much sweetness that I could, express. I had such a great time, and the energy was wonderful. I can tell these are people that I really like, like share a lot of very similar philosophies of life, and of live and let live, that kind of thing. This very like passive and peaceful, harmonious type of crowd, and that's good. I mean, there's obviously going to be, silly things like here and there, but nothing really with us. Like it was very smooth, very good. So, anyways, man, I'm gonna be so pissed off if I forgot something, because I really did this just to tell you everything else that I had missed on the last one. But I think that's it. So hope you guys enjoyed this. It's pretty mind-blowing to think anybody would enjoy just me talking about my experiences that had to do with stitching. It's still hard. I mean, 30 years, and this is the first still for me. So hope you're all stitching the awesome Retreat Queen. I think I'm gonna do her hair in the purple. I think it's 3747. I'm pretty sure that's the color. They gave us basically, I mean, most of the kit, the little plastic covered needle to go in this Retreat Queen's hand. But yeah, so I'm going to do her hair purple. I think I'm going to do the DMC 434 skin tone because that looked just gorgeous on the pink. I think it was on the pink fabric, if I'm remembering right. It'll look good on the pink or purple. So I'm going to do that on my pink fabric. Super excited to see what those water lilies look like with the stripes on her skirt. Oh, so pretty. Okay, great to talk to you guys. I love you. Hope you're all having a great week. And I will talk to you later. Happy stitching.